Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, I said Gloomy Tuesday. Yes, today is November 30th. I thought it was the 29th, but it's November 30th, 2021. And the time is now 2:21. Might be a minute fast, actually. So, I couldn't sleep. Well, actually, let me zoom in. This is my candle. Yeah, put a candle on to try to relax me. I actually went to bed early. Went to bed early yesterday, like around 7 p.m. I did a meditation and I was able to fall asleep. Yeah, I was very troubled yesterday and I needed to just go within. Sometimes you get overwhelmed, like you feel just um, bombarded by information and it can overload your system. So I did a meditation, my candle work, or what do you call it? I do mirror gazing and I have my candle, and it worked for me. So I was able to just, initially fall asleep, but I awakened at 11:30 in the evening. Yeah, I want to talk about, I wrote the title of about, I said Gloomy Tuesday, and in the description, uh, Gloomy Tuesday. Yeah, um, I titled that because of what I perceive. And I think many of you perceive certain things also, but you may not know how to express it, or maybe you might be afraid to express it because you might think, people might think, boy, yes, some people may say that I'm a, what do you call it, empath. Just started hearing that expression, empath. I read up on that. I think I might be an empath. Yes, good morning. Good morning, viewer. Yeah, this is my candle that's on, just to kind of relax me as I speak. I want to talk about some topics. I touched on certain topics before. I want to talk about things in the media, things that I perceive that's going on, connecting the dots. Um, I want to be careful. I mean, I talked about it before. I mean, it's kind of like common knowledge with these celebrities and things that's happening with them. Make sure the volume is up. Yeah, my volume's already up. Um, yeah, trying to put the pieces together. Um, but before I start talking about these celebrities things, and again, I'm not into all this celebrity crap, but I think it's just the signs of the times. And also, I was a little anxious yesterday. My dog is not feeling well. My Shih Tzu named Lilac. Um, past 3 days, like 3 days ago, I noticed something. Her behavior was a little different. And then, like 2 days ago, like I went to pet her, and how she acted, like she's in pain, physical pain. I think her back. She had the back surgery last year, and I think she Um, she fell. It wasn't fall, but when I was starting to pick her up, she slipped out of my hand, and I think she hurt her back. Um, that's what I think what happened, what might have triggered it. And I bring her to the park every day to walk, and I noticed now she doesn't want to walk, and I thought maybe it was the leaves. But now that when I went to pet her, how she was acting, and then yesterday, uh, really bizarre. She started to stare at the walls, like she'll like when I went to pet her, she walked away from me, like avoidance. And then she sat down and then just stare at the walls. This was similar behavior that she did last year, and she had a back injury, and so I'm afraid she's going to require another surgery, something. And she didn't handle recovery well. I mean, the surgery went fine, but she, when I brought her home, she suffered from severe anxiety. So I ask you guys, gals, please pray for my dog. Her name is Lilac, the flower. Um, yeah, even how she's acting in at bedtime. And the thing is, it happens so quickly. Her behavior is just really, she's a pretty stable dog, happy dog, um, very laid back, very independent spirit, but she's troubled. She's in pain because I went to touch her again. I had to find out, is it something? Is she in pain? So I just slightly like touch a part of her body, and she reacted. She's one of the sweetest things around. Please pray for her. And that's also why I call it Gloomy Tuesday, because in a few hours I will be bringing all of us, me and all my dogs. I'm going to put them in the stroller, and we're going to go to the emergency room, at the veterinarian hospital. Yeah, I feel awful. Um, and I'm still emotionally recovering from the physical attack that I had on the 24th, November 24th. It's affected me emotionally. And I really thought I was going to be okay. Um, I couldn't get through. Yeah, I called up the police precinct. See, anytime an incident happens and the police are sent to the scene, um, they have to do a report within 24 hours. Now, the incident that happened to me, I was assaulted, punched in the chest, or I should say hit in the chest, because she didn't use a closed fist, but she used the part of her hand, the meaty part of the hand, to ram it into my chest with extreme force. Um, so that was the day before Thanksgiving, and I took some days off. I stayed home to, emotionally recover and physically recover from the attack. But the police want to call it harassment. Harassment could be anything. She didn't harass me, she attacked me and other people too. So on Friday, I went to the precinct, and there's no record of the incident. They said, well, come back or call up the next day, the day after, they said. Uh, and they'll be back from the day off because they were off. I asked, well, is the police officer here? Let me talk to them. So it's their day off. So come back or call up the next day. So I didn't want to call Sunday, so I said, I'll just call Monday, which was yesterday. And I called around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And a recording came on that I have to call back later. And I called two other times. So I'm a little edgy about that. Um, I'm concerned that no report was done on that woman. The police, it was a white woman, a young white woman that attacked me and attacked an elderly black man. Um, I'm wondering whether it was racially motivated because the area is overwhelmingly, there are hardly any blacks that go there. But coincidentally, everybody that seems to be attacked by her were black people. So I'm just saying, um, I think the reality that no report may have been written because they felt sorry for the white lady, and I think they said she's schizophrenic and something about her medication. But they were really, like when the police came to the scene, because I pointed her out, I acted quickly. Once the attack happened, I looked for a cop, got one, pointed her out, and he went to talk to her, and she's reacting. And then at one point, he grabbed her by the arm, I think, and she resisted, and a whole flock of cops came to his aid. How they were able to signal that, but either way, they came to the scene, and it was total of four cops wrestling with this woman. Yeah, but they seemed like they didn't want to hurt her. I mean, which is nice, you don't want someone to, get someone to get abused, but this person just attacked me and other people. So I thought the attack was very severe. Oh, let me get my glasses. I can hardly see. I see you come. I have to put my glasses on. Okay, let me see. Oops. Okay, my eyes are really blurred. I'm trying to. I'm sorry. Trying to read your response. Okay, NYC. Use another phone number to call the police. The police blacklisted your number, so all you would get is a recording to blow you off. Use a payphone. Oh, you think so? Oh, I never heard of that. Wow, I never heard of that. I didn't know that could even happen. Well, thank you for telling me that. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a candlelight that you're looking at just to keep me focused. Yeah, this is Gloomy Tuesday, and it could hit anybody. And it's just my way of coping. So, yeah, so I saw how they handled the lady, and I know they didn't want to hurt her. They felt sorry for her, and the officer that wrote the report, when I was telling him that she assaulted other people, and he did no, and put his hand in my face. He didn't want to hear it. So, but the reality is that he did not write a police report because, again, as you said, NYC, that they are required to do it within 24 hours. And yes, it's just before the Gobble Gobble holiday. And then there was, Friday, and it wasn't done Friday. So, um, so I can just, go walk to the precinct and get it that way if I can't use my phone number. Yeah, because they did get my phone number. Why they need my phone number and a photo of my driver's license, a photo, they made a copy of it because the girl took out her phone and made a photo of it. And as you said, NYC before, that they want to check to see whether you got a record or something. I'm reading your message, NYC. Yes, they even have to give you a report number on this. Oh, that I didn't know. Because the lady said that the person that wrote the report is not the same cop that wrote down the info on the piece of paper. They just say you have to go get the number, the report number. Um, but it takes 24 hours, something like that. There was no number. Very interesting. Yeah, I would. Yeah, because they have to fill out a form, and I'm sure that form has a number on it. So the reality, see, I'm not stupid, and the reality is that they want to give the girl a break. They feel sorry for the white girl because, being in New York City and all these so-called minority people around and the pandemic. So just give her slack and she'll go to the hospital and get her medication and then let her back on the street to um, beat up, to punch, sucker punch. Because see, my head was turned when she did it. Okay? It was a sucker punch. And you just take your meds. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't take my meds. Now, aren't people, when you're not taking meds, shouldn't you stay in there because you're a threat to society and yourself if you don't take your meds and you're schizophrenic? So what I also think I'm going to do based on what happens, if I find out that no report was given, if they say, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't have time and this and that, then it's an indication that they're playing games. Okay, and I might just go to the newspapers and report my experience. I just might do that. I'd like your feedback on that too, NYC. Or I just might drop it. I don't know. So it's just the signs of the time that things things are crazy. Things are very crazy here in New York City, and I know that we're all be infected. All of us. We live in fear, anxiety, and I never felt this type of anxiety, you know, like constant anxiety for a while. It started last year with the beginning of that pandemic, as I call it. Um, what else? Yeah, it's a game player. It's a tit for tat What else did I start noticing that? See, I'm born and raised here in New York City, and all my life I wanted to live a very I I may not have understood racism. See, I do not come from the South. That's not my heritage. But even though one may not be from the South, but you still pick up things up north. You start to wonder why you see what you see, why people act certain way with one people and not another. I've always noticed that. And I wondered why you see certain people, why members from my community, why is it that it's so much physical violence? Oops. It's a lot of physical violence. Sorry. Okay. Okay. NYC says, no, don't do it. You can file a request your phone call to the police and get the recording of the call from police dispatcher as well. It's Freedom of Information Act law. Right? Oh, okay, that's what you said. You said, no, don't drop it. Oh, Freedom of Information. Oh, you mean FOIL? Okay, you can FIDA request your phone call to the police and get the recording of the call from police dispatcher as well. It's Freedom of Information Act law. I want to make sure I understand. I'm sorry. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Saying don't forget about the report. I don't understand with the dispatcher. If my phone number is being blocked, then listen. Okay. Okay. Okay, I understand. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah, I feel it's very important to get because it could substantiate some things like I had to take an ambulance. Now, I did tell the ambulance that I'm a veteran and that the last time I had to take an ambulance, that they contacted the VA hospital how to because I'm not to pay for that ride, but they didn't. And then I did have to sign the papers. So I want proof that I had to that it was an attack. It was something urgent, and so I had to take the ambulance. Okay, you can get the call that you made to police the day it happened. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I want to make sure I understand. Are you saying that when I called yesterday, the police number, that I could request a Freedom of Information Act that I proof that I did call? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you say that I need to get a FOIA request? I mean, they just said call back later. I mean, they said call back at a later hour. Yeah, yeah, cause yeah, it's easier if I can get the information, the number. Yeah, they said you have to get the number. Um, yeah, you get the number first, and then you mail out the form. Yes, you call. Sorry. Yes, that you call police on the crazy lady. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I have to just for clarification. The day that it happened, the attack, the police were in the vicinity. I walked up to. I didn't call the. I mean, I didn't make a phone call to the police the day it happened. I the police were outside. Please Google Fukuoka's police radio call. Very interesting. Yeah, so I didn't make a phone call, just for clarification for everybody else that's listening. I did not, the day of the attack, I didn't make a phone call. The police were there. I walked up to a cop. But when I went, I waited a few days to get the report number from, I called from my home, and the recording said that um, that it's a like a bad hour, and you have to call back at a later hour. It didn't say it was closed, whatever. It said you have to call back at a later hour. Yeah. Um, so it's interesting though that how they want to spin it, and I think the reality. See, I thought I handled it emotionally okay. I mean, I was shaken up when the day of the attack, but I felt um, that I kept it together. I took 2 days. I stayed in 2 days right after that, just to regroup. But I found that when I went outside on day three after the incident, it's started to affect me mentally. And the reality that when I did finally, yeah, the day three is when I walked over to the police station in question that made the report or supposed to make the report, and they didn't have it. And I knew what that meant. But again, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt because it was a holiday on Thursday, even though it was now Friday. Um, I see the disparities. Okay, in that state, you forget what to do. Let me see. You always need to get police names and badge numbers because that's your proof. Okay. Um, I did get, yes, that very excellent advice. Um, excellent advice. Very, very good advice. And I did have one of the police officers. Interesting that the officer that is supposed to do the report is not the one that walked over to me at the ambulance. The ambulance was called for me also. So it's ironic that the one that is doing the report didn't is not the one that's talking to me and relaying the information what to do next. But one of the other cops, it was a female cop, and she wrote down her name, the officer that did the report, and where to go. So that I have. Um, yeah, this is what makes people angry. See, all my life I wanted to believe that racism is not an issue. I wanted to live my life as if race didn't matter. But it was always an awareness because I see the people around me and how, when I say people around me, other black people, and I see how they are reacting, the things that are happening to them, the things that happen in school, the things that happen in the street. Why are these things happening to them and not other people? So I'm a sensitive person. I'm very, very sensitive. I've had the opportunity to, being in the military, I've experienced things. And even though in the military, you're all dressed alike because you're in uniform, you have to perform the same, basically, but it's not the same. I witnessed things. I spoke up against racism in the military and to not be supported. I think that's a big part what um, affected my ability to um, get the increase in rank, and the black people that I thought I was helping did not, in essence, were the ones that really pulled me down, that really screwed me over. So here I did things for all of us to move up and then to be a big cause of my leaving the military. It's really sad. The people who you love the most are the ones that hurt you. I'm reading the thing. These will never really be justice on stolen land. Oh, there will never be. Yeah, yeah. I understand that. I have been on. Well, interesting when you say that. I feel the pain. I feel the pain of all of us. And when some of us want to move up, and not to move up meaning poo poo everybody below, but to move up in hopes that you encourage others to follow, to give them encouragement that they can do it too. But oftentimes it's not thought of that way. And ironically, I don't want to give him by name, this YouTuber recently uploaded a video talking about that the people, he's very successful at his on his channel, and he did a video that who is bothering him are other black people, and it's sad. I learned of this YouTuber. I'm not going to give names, but I learned of this YouTuber a couple of years ago. Um, what clues I can give? He talks about um, ancient history, UFO. I think UFOs. Your own will attack you to keep you on their level as well. Yes, yes. I care about us. I care about us. Everything about me. I care about all humanity. I care very much about all of humanity. But in this 3D existence, I'm in this form, and so um, It's what impacts my life about what my race is or my gender. You know, it's what um, is a key thing on how my reality is shaped. I am Irish, and I can't. Oh, oh, thanks for the info. That's nice to say that. Thank you for saying that you care about me. That is one of the nicest things someone said in a while. So you've had your ins with the police. I first learned of your name. What was that two about 2 videos ago? Yes, I care about all people. And interesting enough, NYC, I have an Irish background, Irish mix also. What's ironic, even though I am a black woman, that's the label that I'm given. I'm of black ancestry, well, mixed ancestry, but ironically, um, I had a relative, a distant relative, black relative, who um, did a genealogy thing. Yeah, my background is from the Caribbean, French Caribbean on my mother's side, and that branch did a genealogy. And you know what? Ironically, the oldest direct ancestor, they came from, at least they they left Europe from Cork County, Ireland, to the Caribbean. So it's really ironic, really ironic. Okay, you say this. I grew up in housing projects all my life. White cops harass me all my life, threaten white people, thinking white people shouldn't be in all in public housing with the brown people. Oh, really? Oh, really? Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I was born in Queens, New York, and the first 4.5 years of my life, I lived in the project, what they call the projects. The ones in, I lived on 51st Beach Avenue, I think it's called. Yeah, Far Rockaway, Queens. But you know, the projects back then were integrated. The projects wasn't just a black and brown thing. The projects were affordable housing. After the war, the government built housing for people to live in. There was housing, I mean, there were houses for people to buy, and then the projects were for those who were renting. And so I grew up the first 4.5 years, and there were white people there. There were white people in that, and they were new. The ones that I was in was only 2 years of age when I moved in. Yeah, these were brand new. These weren't dilapidated things. These were brand new buildings. Brand new buildings. I'm being very honest. It wasn't for black and Hispanics. These were affordable rental units based on your income. They're all based on your income. So you made a lot of money, Okay, the base, you pay a certain amount. It was based on your income, which is fair. Everybody should have a place that is affordable, but it twisted it. It got distorted, and people, it started to just, it was being used for segregation. And unfortunately, that's what happens to keep a certain demographics in away from houses, people who bought homes, keep them separate. And also, there's public housing for, I'm just going to say it. Yeah, there's public housing, and not all public housing is for blacks and Hispanics to live in. They have public housing for Asian people. Asian really meaning people from China. They have it all separate for themselves. And then there's public housing for Jews. So the only people that'll be there would be people of those backgrounds. So there'd be the ones for the that we all hear about, the black and brown people. Then there's ones for Jews, and then there's one for East Asian people. That's how it works. Let me see here. Okay, I'm trying to see. Okay, okay. I'm reading the comments. The projects were an experiment. They were the first into integrated housing in all of New York City. Yeah, it was integrated. Okay, hey Nubian, Grand Rising. Yes, hi. Okay, yeah. And it's okay, I want to say this also. I appreciate Nubian. I appreciate your concern about the like button. But you don't have to say it anymore. I see. This is an open platform. This is an open platform, and so um, people are free to. I want people to be comfortable, and if I say, I'll probably just say it once. Hey, hit the like button if you feel comfortable. But see, I don't want to push people to do what they may not feel comfortable doing. But I want people to do hit the like button if they feel moved to, and if they don't, you know, that's okay also. It really is. I don't want to feel that people are being bullied by my you know re- keep on requesting it. This I want them to feel free on my channel to watch and enjoy, and I just say it once or twice, and that's it. And so it's okay. I appreciate you looking out for me. Thank you, Nubian. Yeah. So yeah. It's really sweet of you. It's really sweet of you. But I realize, like, whatever will be, will be. Whatever will be, will be. And so, um, if they hit it or they don't hit it, it's all good. It really is all good. Um, YouTube is going to do what they're going to do, whether I get 1,000 likes or 1,000 thumbs down. It all is the same. It really doesn't make a difference. They want you to think it makes a difference, but it really doesn't. What it just dawned on me now, Nubian. When you press, it's taking your energy. It's just hitting me. I know this sounds weird. It like when I just started to go on YouTube, I learned from scratch. I didn't understand what a lot of the functions on YouTube was all about. I didn't know what a like or dislike was. I didn't know what subscribe meant. I knew nothing of that. And then of course I kind of learned, but now like in my earlier videos when I used to do the video editing, I would say like, share, subscribe, because I was just saying what the other people were saying. I thought that was the lingo, what you say on YouTube. But I'm just realizing now, Nubian and everyone else, that it's just why does this platform have a like or dislike button? What I don't understand that. I really don't. But it just dawned on me. When you pressing on the screen, because you have to press it, it's taking your energy. They want people to keep touching. Oh wow. They want people to keep touching the screen. When you do that, it is taking your energy. How could uh, whether you press like or dislike affect the algorithms on the on YouTube? People's going to watch or they're not going to watch. They're already, the algorithms already. I'm already. Um, how do you say? I think they use the terms. What do you call it? Shadow banned. I'm already. Um, like people were contacting me last year, and they were telling me that they're not getting their subscriptions, even though they subscribe to my channel. They aren't getting notifications, even though they are fully subscribed to my channel. So whether someone presses my like or dislike button does not make really a difference, I think. If they don't want to promote your channel, they're not going to promote your channel. But they're going to say, oh, everybody hit the like button. It's going to help the algorithms. It just dawned on me that's a lie. I believe that's not accurate. They already know who they're going to promote and who they're going to demote. Really, start asking yourself, what 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 difference does it make whether someone likes or dislikes? You can tell whether someone likes something by how many people watched it. And again, some people don't watch it because they're not notified. You hear what I'm saying? There are people who are not notified, and so they cannot watch. And in fact, I was referred to a video, I was given a notification to watch a video. And I said, isn't this odd? I looked at it and said, I don't recall ever subscribing to that channel. So how did it get for them to notify me? And other people also started mentioning around that time that they were being um, notified of a particular video, even though they've never subscribed. Yet they have their own videos that people subscribe to, and they weren't given notification. Oops, sorry, I moved the. You hear what I'm saying? There's things going on. It has nothing to do. See, they're promoting who they want to promote. Why do they want to promote the Gabby and the Laundry family? Why is that? They do and show things on YouTube for you because they want you to be distracted by certain things. They were bombarding me with all those videos on and it's not to be insensitive. I'm not trying to be insensitive to the murder of this poor girl. but there's more to what that story is all about. It's more to it. It's a tragedy. It's really quite sad, but it's done for effect. It's all done for effect. Okay, let me read the message. Sorry, I keep moving this. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, monetary. Let's see. Wow, I missed a lot of yeah. Sometimes when I'm doing the video, I mean doing my live streams, I'm looking at the screen and but I don't see the messages always. Sometimes I get just distracted. So come on, come back on. Sorry, it um the numbers is frozen. The numbers is frozen. I don't know whether you can hear me. Come on, let's go back on. Yeah, I'm sorry, the stream number just froze. So I don't know whether you can hear me or not. And I really didn't. I really wanted to talk about other things as well. I didn't know I was going to talk about the YouTube, but it's all related. Come on, come back on. Could you guys hear me? Please let me know if you could hear me. The numbers froze, so it looks like it's not recording. I can see something on the screen, but it's frozen. Please type a 1 for yes if you can hear me. If you can hear me and everything, I'll just continue talking. Otherwise, I have to wait until the numbers start counting again. Because it froze. So I assume that it's buffering on your end. Okay. Okay, now it's going. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was frozen for a while. Okay. Yeah. See that when I want to talk about certain thing, it freezes. So yeah, so not everything is meant to be shared. They only will really allow certain things to be we call shared. They don't want my videos to be shared. They're not um, allowing my subscribers. They're not allowing my subscribers to even get their prescription. I mean, their subscription. They're not notifying them. But yet they're going to give me a notification of a video, and I'm not even a subscriber to them. So that's what I say. They create your reality. They're creating your reality. And so what I was talking about earlier with NYC about the police. Oh, I'm not supposed to say the P word. I'm sorry. I'll just call them the P. I know because the last time I said the POLICE, they froze my stream live stream. So I have to be careful. Um, yeah, it's all by design, and so only certain people will get arrested. Yes, some people would get arrested and some people they just let go. So with the incident that happened to me um, on the 24th that just passed, um, they knew right away that they're not going to keep her in jail. Just like with Gabby, the girl that got killed by her boyfriend. Why didn't the police officers arrest her? By law, by law, and they had the recording going on, so you can hear the cops talk between each other. They said that the law requires us to take her in because she is considered the aggressor. She was hitting him in the car as they were driving. And the law required them to arrest her, but because she's a frail looking white female, they thought, oh, we won't do that to her. And they actually wanted to arrest the boy. But he had the bumps, remember the lumps on his face? So the law required them to arrest the girl, but they didn't. And if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't want to arrest her either. I'm being honest. I'm being honest because of the conditioning, what it looked like that she was a victim. And yes, she did become a victim, but she was also an aggressor. And their relationship was toxic. But because they looked middle class, see, if they looked like poor, what they call poor white trash, both of them would have been arrested, or at least one of them. But because they looked middle class, even though they had bruises on their face and body, they let them go and said, let's just, just be separate for the day, you know. And look what happened. Both of them are dead now. It's tragedy. It's really sad. So with my situation, um, yeah, I had an experience with the police before, many years ago, many years ago, over 20 years ago, and it was someone that I work with, and they even though I called the police even before the incident, I had complained that this person was bothering me, and then they took a knife to stab me. I ran out of that room, told the manager, the person who's in charge, report when the P people come, when they have to file a report. Okay. Oh, when Becky put on the waterworks, she gets over. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The P word. Yeah, yeah. See, I think I told you. I think you were on before, Nubian. Um, Remember, I did a video. In case if you didn't know, um, I had gotten physically assaulted by a a woman, and she is a white woman, young, late 20s, early 30s, big bone, big girl, big strong girl, out in the open, a lot of witnesses around, and in an area where it's considered very nice. And interesting, the other person she attacked was an elderly black man. So, So the incident that happened to me many years ago involving the police, and here I called the police. Well, I had security call the police, and when they arrived, I spoke to the officer. I say the word officer. I spoke with an officer and told him what happened. And then when we went over for the to get the perpetrator, the company that I work for physically pushed me out the room and slammed the door on me. And then they lied behind my back. And these were people, the one that actually really lied on me was the one pretending to be my friend. This individual ate with us. I was on the culinary team, and he was one of the people that this was. I used to work at a resort. I'm not going to give the name of the resort. I used to work for a resort, and so you live and work there. And the this person um, acted like they were a friend. Um, they ate with us. They ate with the culinary team. Um, when I finally got, to make a long story short, no disciplinary action ever happened to the lady that put a knife to me. Um, what was that now? Oh, I had to call up the Department of Labor regarding a labor issue separate from the issue that happened to me, but I did let them know that a particular thing happened to me at that resort. And luckily, I did do that because, and my instinct said, do not make the phone call on their premises. I went outside of the resort and went to a payphone and made my phone call. I see some things, the spirit does talk to you. I should say, what do you call it? Intuition talks to you. And intuition said, you get off this resort and use a payphone. And luckily I did because they were tapping my phone. Yeah, that was another thing. Um, so they told me, the Department of Labor said, okay, they said anytime the police is called, they have to file a report. You go back to the police, or the police. Oh, oops! I said the p word. Sorry, sorry. I hope they don't cut me off. You go to the p people and get a copy of the report. And I did. I was devastated. I was devastated. What happened to me? That person that I thought was a friend of the cooking staff lied on him. He wasn't even in the room. He wasn't even there. And it's what he said that caused her not to get that to be incarcerated. And in fact, the P person said that they were going to leave and come back and arrest one of us, and threatened that they were going to arrest me. I kid you not. So I think part of what's happening now with me, this anxiety, sometimes like it's post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, at the time, I thought I handled, kept it together and everything, but it's like now the realization and the post-trauma of it all that starts to grip you, that's triggering certain emotions because of past experience. Some things you can't avoid. We can pretend, yeah, we could pretend that we're equal, that we're all one. Like I love this country. I'm born in, sorry, it is buffering again. Yes, we can love our family, but doesn't mean that they're good for us, right? That's what I mean. I love my country. I served in the military. I love it, but it doesn't have to love me. So, yeah, this is somebody that I work with that held my arm, like he and another gentleman escorted me on the dance floor, and we were all dancing together. It was so much fun. But who would know that person, that specific person, was the one in the oops, on the report said certain things, and they used his name. That's how I knew who it was, because they said his name. I was devastated. Devastated. Yeah. So I think that's what's happening. That particular experience that happened over 20 years ago, and then the physical attack that happened to me on the 24th of November, the day before the Gobble Gobble, I think it's affected me. I had actually forgotten about that incident, but now it's like I'm remembering. Yeah. So it is what it is. But so the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I know going long, because I see it's 3:30 now, 3:30 in the morning. Um, where does this all tie in? What I'm mentioned about with the attack and then the YouTube, um, about what's going on in this world. See, I think everything is interconnected, and especially if you're working for. I mean, if you are a particular member of a particular group. Um, yeah, I was just thinking about, again, I'm not going to give name, uh, a YouTuber. Um, they're very successful in their business. The only clues that I would give that it's a black person, and they're interested in their subject of interest, and it's growing and growing. And they came on. They recently did a video why people from his community are the ones that are attacking him. I guess by their comments and things like that. I don't think it's like in person, but who knows? And I know what he's talking about, and it's sad. And like before I did this live stream, I was in deep thought. I was very troubled. I used to do volunteer work at a very well known hospital that's in a black neighborhood, very well known. And I thought it was helping my community, and I got screwed. And it's like you can work so hard to try to make an impact on your community. I'll help anybody. That's my nature. I've always been that way. And that's why a lot of people come to me for help because they know my nature. And I like to feel like I'm helping people. That's just my nature. I care about all people. And I may not have to agree with someone's lifestyle or things like that, but if they need help, I would help them. That's just me. Um, so I started noticing correlations that you have people that supposed to represent you, but they're really not about you, and the favoritism that happens. Who gets promoted and who doesn't? And if you offend anybody, and if you're not a member of that group, um, they you're removed. And so that reminder reminded me of something else. I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but it all is going to fit in. How things are shaped socially. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. People have handlers, and so this person, this YouTuber that's doing well, and who recently posted something that he's been targeted by his own, and I feel for him. But then I noticed the correlation. See, he just also announced that he's engaged. Sorry. Come on, let's go back on. Okay, it's go, but see, it's buffering again. I have to really be careful. It was just buffering again. Yeah, see, let me be more direct. I believe this particular YouTuber is being has a what you call a handler. He's being handled by people, and I don't think he realizes it. I see correlations. I was a science major, and when you were a science, you learn to see you learn to see correlations and things. But again, as I say, correlation doesn't mean causality, but you become more sensitive to see relationships, how things are related to one another. And I see that there's a seems to be a theme. Now, he's up and coming. He's thriving, and many people from our community. When I say my community, I mean the Black community, Black American community. Um, you're only allowed to go up if the system says you're allowed to go up, and they also determine how high you go up. And so, with conditioning, my being born and raised here, you start to get a little nervous. And wow, no one's saying anything, nothing is happening to him. How, if it's anybody else from our community, we're stopped right away. So how is it that he's able to get to as far he's going? Does anyone know what I mean? What I'm getting at? So I'm just, in the back of my mind, I'm saying this. I'm not saying this thing verbally, whatever, but it's just something I'm noticing. And so, he's publishing books. He's into music. He's well rounded, and he's gathering a larger and larger audience. When you look on his lectures, the people are not from his background. They're from other people's background. And so I find it amazing. I always want us to all do well. But again, my instincts is like kicking in. What's going on? And so when he announced about what was happening and that he's being targeted, I felt sorry. I felt badly for him, but then I felt uncomfortable because who he was saying it in front of, his new fiance. All of a sudden he gets a new fiance, and this fiance is on his videos now. Now I've been subscribed to this person's channel for a while now, but I haven't been listening to him for a couple of years, but all of a sudden now I'm being given recommendations to see his videos. And so I say, hey, I haven't seen so and so in a while. Let me take a look at some of his new stuff. And that's when I saw that he has this new person in his life. Um, in one word, what it reminds me of, in one word, Kardashian. Kardashians. That's who I was thinking of. The person is dressed very, oops, sorry. The person is dressed very, very sexy. Um, Very pretty person. And the person is not from his background. Now, again, you, it is your choice who you date, who you marry. It is your business, and it's not my business. But I'm just talking about things that I'm noticing. I'm seeing trends or patterns, correlations from one thing to another. Okay? Your love is your business. But I'm just noticing something. So it seems like with the Kardashians, do you think it's a coincidence that what's his name, that famous singer, um, yeah, Kanye West. Kanye West, and I say his name because he's an extremely well-known person. He's a public figure, so that's why I say his name. But what happened a couple some years ago? Remember, he went on stage and he took this. He snatched the mic out of this country singer's hand, this female, and he said what he said, and then he pushes it back into her hand. I was horrified. He was cocky. He was, he was top of his game, but it went to his head, right? Right? What happened with Kanye? I think it was over 10 years ago. It was quite a while ago. But look what happening now. Look what happened, was it earlier this year? No, it was last year. He had a meltdown, remember? He was acting really cuckoo. And right? And then he wanted to run for office. Nothing wrong with him running for office. Did you hear that this actor wants to? Oh, I forget his name. Um, he wants to run for governor now of Texas. This a well-known actor. So it's not unusual for a performer wanting to get into politics now. But either way, I mentioned about the Kanye incident because, see, he was on the top of his game, and then they presented a pretty distractant for him, right? Somehow he met this girl, very beautiful, very shapely, this ultra sexy female. I think they get married and they have children, right? And then it happens. Okay, and then it turned out that this same family, Kardashian, is. Sorry, see, it's buffering again. I have to be quick. Yeah, I want to get off. I want to finish by 4 o'clock. Yeah, so it's almost four now. So what happened now? Bruce Jenner. You guys remember Bruce Jenner? He was a famous triathlon. He was on top of his game in the 1970s. He was on the cereal boxes. Remember him? All of a sudden, he discloses that he wants to be a female. Quick, hello. Hello. And I think he was married to the mother, right? He's married to the mother of the girl. Don't you think that's kind of close for comfort? And then again, what was it, 2 weeks now? This other singer, this other rapper from Texas, is also associated with that same family, Kardashian. Three people, three guys, three men, three American men are associated with the same family. And that you don't think the thing with the recent one is being targeted. Out of all that's I don't know the name of the singer. The one he's from Texas. That big thing that happened a couple of weeks where you had people who got crushed or something at his concert. I've never heard of this guy until this tragedy, and then I found out that he's dating or in a close relationship with the Kardashian girl. Another hello, and all these lawsuits. How how is it that you had several people performing that same day? Why is it that all the drama happened on his shift? It didn't happen in the early part, only during his performance. I don't know whether if there were any other black male performers, but he and Drake came on last. Well, Drake came on at the end, I think, to just say hello or something. I don't think he sang. I'm not sure. I don't think he sang, but he came on stage to say hello or whatever. It looks like some type of correlation that people associated with certain people, that things tend to happen, that they use these sex pots, these sexy women, to entrap men, and it's uh, in particular men of color. And also it can happen with the women too, and that's another story. But it just seems so uncanny that of anybody, it's the intensity of the attack. When the thing that happened with Kanye, his meltdown last year, it got extreme attention. And now this year, with this singer from Texas, that now it's being, you know, um, spotlighted attention, and the lawsuits. Now these lawsuits came out almost immediately, the day after the incident. I think the first lawsuit, the day after. I think that they're promoting certain people and they have their handlers there, and then they do a whammy. It's just too uncanny. It's not, I don't think it's a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This is by design. You support them, get them real popular, have a handler to keep them happy, and then they do a number. They did a number on Kanye West. And I'm not like a Kanye West fan. I mean, I'm not into these genres of music. I don't really listen to music anymore. When I was young, I used to, but not anymore. But it's just uncanny. So they can control Kanye. They tried to admit him, well, not tried, they admitted him to a hospital. And now this, and then what you got? You got the Bruce Jenner, who's out of his mind, in my opinion. To destroy your body like that, this is all social engineering. This is what you call social engineering. And then now the latest victim, so to speak, this rapper from Texas. Now, it's not a new phenomenon for people to get crushed in these concerts. I remember growing up, I heard about these concerts and people got crushed, and things like that, or discos, and then there was a fire. But it's just the timing and the people involved. And so that's what it's all about. I think people are what you call have handlers, and they infiltrate the community. They can infiltrate any community, any race, any religion, any nationality, but they're there and they follow you, and they work stealth. They find out what you like and give it to you. They can get information what happens within a community, right? Because they have their insider. And there's going to be somebody else. I'm not going to mention their name. I kind of talked about them before, some couple of years ago. But it's going to be a female. And she too has her handler. And she's going to be running for office. A young black female. Very polished. And then when you start examining, just, you love who you're going to love. I'm just saying, start analyzing. Look into people's backgrounds. When someone who just come out of nowhere, and it's not about being jealous. It's not about that. I don't care. I'm not into politics or that crap. But when you start to see patterns of behavior, uh, incidences, you just start to see these relationships. And so this person started out. There was a trauma in this person's life, and then there's a quiet period in their life, and then all of them come out of nowhere again. And that again, um, they're not living, um, they're not being promoted by people from their community, but people outside all of a sudden. How this person, again, from the black community, and how did they get onto this other realm? Because it's not within our community. Sorry. Oh, just froze. Okay, come on. It's buffering. Sorry again, it is just buffering. Yeah, so this other person would be getting into, they'll be eligible for presidency in 4 years, the next election. And they already hinted that they uh, suggest that they're going to run for office, major office. They married that some. It's just really weird. It's just really weird. Um, and they're working very fast, and they're being handled by someone from another nationality, even not just race, but from someone from another country. And again, I'm not trying to say, well, people shouldn't marry out. I'm not even implying that, but I'm just noticing that the type of handlers that we're getting where they're coming from, and I just can't help but notice. So my saying this is to be careful. Be careful who comes into your community. Be careful on what they do. Because, like, even with, let's say, a coworker that you're buddies, that they can stab you in the back, that they know what to say to make you feel comfortable in sharing with them, uh, maybe even asking for your hand in marriage, or um, dating, whatever. It doesn't mean a damn thing. Just because someone marries you doesn't mean that they um, are who they are. That to some people, it's just an assignment. You have people who are in high positions who infiltrate, and they're willing to marry someone or have sex with someone because it's part of the assignment. I know this sounds very bizarre, um, paranoid, but this go on. You have people you have people who do things for many reasons, and it's not what you think. And some people are willing to marry someone to infiltrate a community. And why, you might ask? Well, they infiltrate communities so that they could control them. This is the age of controlling people through stealth means, uh, going inside and making them think, hey, they're one of you. No, no, they're not. And their agenda is about themselves. It's never about the community. Is the black community any better that we had Obama? Is it? Where is he now in this Black Lives Matter uh, fiasco? He's not around. He he came into the black community what they call a community organizer. He didn't organize anything. He was an agitator. He told you what you wanted to hear. He got your vote, and then he had his handler. Yes, Obama has a handler who got him to be the keynote speaker at that convention. And then lo and behold, he runs for presidency. He wasn't even a senator for 2 years when they made that announcement. So he has high up handlers. They're handlers of all different levels according to what they want to use you for. So that's what I want to talk about. I know I vented a lot. Um, Please pray for my. You're going to wrap this up. So, in short, we have handlers that go about in various communities and within the black community. You have the thing that happened at the physical attack that I encountered about 4 days ago, and that the PE, the officers, supposed to have 24 hours to write up the report, but they still didn't write it. It's a couple of days now. And then later on today, I have to go to the hospital for my little dog, my little Shih Tzu named Lilac. She's in pain, and she's behavior's acting weird. So I'm going to be leaving for the hospital in a couple of hours, just in a few hours. If you pray for all of us, um, I'm very under a lot of stress right now. I'm afraid for my dog. I don't want her to go through another operation. She didn't do well post-operative. Please pray for her safety and healing. Okay. I thank you all for listening. Um, yeah. Yeah, please, pray for me. I need it. I need it. We all need it. So again, I thank you all for listening. That's my wrap up for today. That's why I call it Gloomy Tuesday. But there's hope and a silver lining out there too. Peace, love, joy, and power to all of us. Thank you for listening. Take care, and I'll be giving you a follow up. Bye bye.